The night buzzed with energy long before the first beat dropped. The sun had just dipped behind Montjuic Hill, but inside the Estadio Olympic Luis companies, time seemed to bend. The collective breath of the 50,000-strong crowd felt perfectly in sync, as if the city's heartbeat had shifted into the stadium, pounding louder and faster. This was more than just a concert. It was a moment of reckoning. Barcelona had never felt this alive. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. Then, without warning, the stadium was engulfed in darkness. A brief silence followed. Suddenly, headlights pierced the gloom. A sleek black car emerged from beneath the stage, ominous and elegant like a royal coffin. No music played yet, only the sound of the engine and the electric anticipation that crackled through the air. Kendrick Lamar stepped out, the embodiment of pain, precision, and prophecy. Dressed in black with fiery eyes, he didn't wave or speak. The flames around him did the talking. Actual fire shot into the sky, and fireworks burst forth like battle cries. The opening notes of waxied-out murals erupted in the stadium. It was more than just a song. It was a powerful sermon delivered in explosive bursts. 20 dancers, sharp and precise, emerged from the flames, moving with the discipline of soldiers and the unpredictability of storm clouds. Kendrick's delivery was not merely lyrical, it was architectural, with each line stacking like bricks in a grand cathedral of sound. From the stands, the scene was breathtaking. A black-and-white world dominated the giant screens, interrupted only by flashes of blood-red light. The fans below, arms raised in defiance, resembled a single, living entity, a unified choir roaring in harmony. Kendrick was their electrifying preacher, their reflection, and their guide. Then, silence fell once more. The car returned, now transformed. Leaves entwined around it, as if nature was reclaiming the metal, suggesting that Kendrick's fire had been tempered by a forest. This time, SZA sat atop it, draped in flowing fabric that fluttered like wings in the wind. Her entrance wasn't explosive, it was transcendent. If Kendrick was the storm, she embodied the eerie, beautiful calm that followed, unpredictable and enchanting. Together, they performed 30 for 30. Their connection was genuine, not just for show. It was fundamental, like fire and air, tension and release. He delivered his lines with the weight of sacred scripture, while she shaped hers into melodic arcs that seemed to defy gravity. As Kendrick faded from sight, SZA effortlessly took command of the atmosphere, transforming it into a psychedelic daydream. Vibrant colors flooded the screens. Enormous insects crawled across otherworldly landscapes, their movements in sync with the deep bass. It felt like being drawn into another dimension. When SZA sang Nobody Gets Me, adorned like a butterfly with delicate wings reflecting the lights, it transcended performance, it became myth-making. She swung gently, suspended in midair like a fallen goddess caught between heartbreak and hope. The transitions between segments were fluid. The central screen folded and flipped like digital origami, marking each new chapter of the evening's narrative. SCA's dancers moved across the stage like ethereal beings, creating shapes that transformed with the music. A spider's web during Kill Bill, a blooming flower during Saturn. The visuals were layered, sometimes subtle, sometimes overwhelming, but always intentional. One of the most captivating moments of the night came unexpectedly with Doves in the Wind. The atmosphere shifted, less chaotic, more solemn. Kendrick returned, this time without the fire, slowly entering the frame like a man coming home. The air thickened. Each word felt suspended within it. Together, they crafted tension from the space around them and respect from the rhythm. They didn't need to touch, they simply circled each other like twin planets in orbit. Then came all the stars. If the previous performances felt like sermons, this one was an immersive communion. The stadium glowed in shades of violet and gold, a warmth that enveloped you. The audience shifted from mere spectators to active participants. People embraced one another, passionately singing along to the chorus. Strangers became like family. Kendrick and SZA didn't merely share the stage, they shared an undeniable presence. Every voice in the crowd resonated like a collective affirmation. The stage dimmed once more. A sudden shift occurred. Kendrick returned solo, fully in control of the chaos. The beat 4, Squabble Up, hit with immense force. It wasn't just a song, it was a rallying cry. He moved across the stage like a commander on a mission, each lyric striking like a bullet, every gesture commanding attention. The crowd reacted immediately, their voices rising like smoke from a battlefield. There were no live musicians, only pre-recorded tracks, beats, and raw energy. It could have fallen flat, but it didn't. This wasn't about the music itself, it was about invoking a powerful response. Kendrick wielded sound not as a mere tool, but as a weapon to cut through the numbness of contemporary life. His voice pierced through the mix, even as the bass threatened to drown it out. He mastered the distortion, transforming flaws into strength. SCA's second solo set brought a lighter tone. Her outfit had changed to a dazzling bodysuit that shimmered with every movement. She danced more freely now, relying less on choreography and more on instinct. When she performed Ghost in the Machine, the visuals became hauntingly beautiful, glitches in reality, shattered mirrors, and floating stars. Her voice soared, fractured, and then reformed in midair. Then came the familiar explosion of Kiss Me More. Fireworks erupted in perfect synchronization with each chorus. Fans screamed as if they had been waiting for this moment for years. Couples leaned into each other, and friends linked arms. This song about desire felt like a triumphant celebration. As the show reached its peak, the shared energy culminated with Humble. Kendrick didn't just perform it, he transformed it into a powerful statement. The crowd became a sea of jumping bodies, feet pounding against the concrete, voices hoarse with excitement. He moved seamlessly across the stage, never missing a beat. It was a masterclass in control. Then came Family Ties. The bass threatened to shake the stadium to its core. Every lyric detonated like a grenade. When he paused midway to shout, "Barcelona, I appreciate your love," the response was not just loud, it was explosive. But no one was ready for Not Like Us. It was more than just a song, it was a powerful release. Kendrick grasped the microphone like a weapon, delivering each line as if it were a decisive verdict. Every repetition of "They Not Like Us" struck the audience like a jolt to their shared awareness. The crowd responded with a fervor akin to those who had finally found the words they had longed to shout for years. The sense of release was beyond mere description. Afterward, there was a lengthy silence. The lights dimmed, and the audience stood in anticipation, silent and almost hesitant to disrupt the moment. Then came the encore. Kendrick and SZA made their way back to center stage, moving slowly. This time, there were no cars or dancers, just the two of them, their gazes fixed ahead. Luther began softly, driven by a gentle beat and tender vocals. The stadium, which had just been a whirlwind of energy, transformed into a space of reverence. It was a shared moment of vulnerability on a grand scale. Next was Glory. The energy had lessened a bit, the song perhaps not reaching the monumental heights of what had come before. Yet, even in this slight dip, there was an authenticity, like a deep breath released after holding it for 2.5 hours. They weren't aiming to outdo the previous moments. They were simply wrapping things up. The black car reappeared, now motionless and almost luminous. Kendrick and SZA stepped in side by side, their expressions unreadable but their stance confident. As the car descended from the stage, the lights twinkled like stars across the stadium ceiling. It was finished, but no one moved. No one applauded right away. This performance didn't call for cheers, it invited contemplation. Finally, the lights came back on. Some people were in tears. Others laughed, embracing friends who now felt more connected. Most people remained motionless, caught in the wake of an experience that felt less like a concert and more like a shared vision. Kendrick Lamar and SZA provided more than just music, they facilitated a transformation. They held up a mirror to Barcelona and invited it to respond with song. And Barcelona did just that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.